Are we live? I said, are we live? Yes, we are. Hi, my name is Brother Derrick, Minister Brother Derrick. And I do have a channel called The Minister Brother Derrick, but we are here today to talk about wrestling. You know, I've been watching wrestling since 81, 82. You know, the first match that I ever seen was Ray the Crippler Stevens versus Jimmy Snuka. And he choked him with a chain and power drived him on the floor twice. If any of y'all old enough to remember that, that's how long I've been watching wrestling. And we on our 36th WrestleMania. I was a young man, maybe 14 or 15. And I remember watching Superstars. We had an indoor antenna, and I used to rig it around the house, and I used to watch the same Wrestling Superstars program again and again. Washington D.C. had the same program. If Westminster, I think, had one, and it was just different stations that would play it, and I would watch the same program over and over again. That's how much I enjoyed wrestling. I also started my wrestling leagues. And I actually retired at the age of 16 at 99-0. Never wanted nobody to beat my 100th victory. So we stayed at 99-0. And I started working seriously. But I talk about everything else. Why not talk about something that I do when I get offline? After I do my streams, and I'm usually on 5-6 hours, you know, we talk about everything. You know, we do religion. We talk about the virus. We talk about everything. Community building, how you can improve your life, your neighborhood, your job situation. We talk about all that on the Minister Brother Derrick channel. We also have the Spirit of Brother Derrick channel. We have Jesus and God in Brother Derrick channel. And this channel is new. This is Brother Derrick's WrestleTalk. We had WrestleMania today, and I was live streaming while I was on. My usual time is 5 to 10, 5 to 11. So it interferes with the wrestling, but it's okay. I can watch it when I get off. And usually when I'm done, everybody else has their stream up talking about it. And I was in the stream today, and I said, wait a minute. Somebody said to me, you did all that chatting in the stream. Why don't you do a show? So I got off, and I started watching the wrestling. And I got to say, it put me to sleep. I've supposed to been doing this at 2 a.m. It put me to sleep, and I'm sorry to say that, but I'm grateful that considering that the times we in, I'm grateful that they actually, you know, put something out there to entertain us. And hats off to all the wrestlers who literally put their lives on the line to entertain us. We appreciate it. I know I do, because I enjoy watching professional wrestling. But I enjoy the wrestling more than the entertainment. And I must say that I miss WCW because WWF was more of the entertainment side and WCW was the wrestling side. But when Vince Russo brought in the entertainment side, he really ruined everything. He had a good thing with the NWO, but he kept making it bigger. He should have stayed with 4 or 5 people and it would still be going on today. But he kept making it bigger and bigger. Then he had the NWO Wolfpack. Then he had the LWO. Then ECW had a version. They had the NWO in Japan. People got sick of it. I remember going to work every day going in, sweet. You know, I can tell you. I know it's a lot of young folk out there that, you know, y'all really enjoy the Ring of Honor. My problem with the Ring of Honor, I think Ring of Honor and New Japan actually messing the wrestling up. When somebody delivers a finisher, that's supposed to be it. All these false finishes, I think, is ruining the sport. And I think that people are into the performing more than the real aspects. I'm tired of seeing somebody stand outside the ring like this waiting to catch somebody. Somebody with common sense will get out the way. Let's just keep it real. But they do it because y'all younger people, y'all like that. I personally think it's silly to jump out the ring and jump on somebody. Now, if they on a table or something, but them suicide dives and all of that, when they bring them back in the ring, do they ever pin them with it? No, they don't. Let's keep it real. When they bring them back in the ring, do they ever pin them? I haven't seen it done. I noticed that my chat's not working, and I know why. It's because I just switched from the Minister Brotha Derrick channel to this channel. So let me load it into the OBS. Sorry to hold the show up. Matter of fact, let me play something for y'all while I do this real quick. This is my version of this song. This is my version of the NWO Wolfpack song. Oh, I didn't loop it. My bad. Alrighty, y'all. So let's get to it. Let's talk about this wrestling. This is a wrestling talk show, but we'll talk about any topics y'all might have on your mind. There's pretty much not many topics I haven't touched. I have a lot of channels. They're not big channels. They're not big like some other people. But that's because we used to get flagged a lot because we were no holds barred. But now we're trying to go all positive, and you know, positive is considered boring in today's society. I'm trying to change that. But today we're talking about WrestleMania. Like I said, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. Now, the CV has crippled it. This is usually an extravaganza with celebrities and athletes from football and all kinds of musicians, and it's a grand gala. But the COVID virus sadly has taken it away, and professional wrestling is a shell of itself. But we should still be fortunate that it's still here, because Major League Baseball postponed their season. The NBA stopped their season. I believe hockey stopped their season. So at least the wrestling is giving us something. It's a shell of itself, but it's giving us something. So let's look at the card tonight. They opened up with the Ladies Tag Team Championship, or the Women's Championship. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Vince McMahon does things that really irks the heck out of me. He should have gave Kairi Sane and Asuka the championship instead of giving it to the Iconics. The Iconics who couldn't wrestle a lick. They could not wrestle a lick. I don't know why Vince McMahon keeps pushing these. They were annoying. They were not funny. And they could not wrestle a lick. Okay? Seriously. They were boring. He took them off of Sasha Banks and Bayley and gave them to the Iconics because he wanted the Bella Twins to come back and win the championship. Who wants to see the Bella Twins anyway? But Vince McMahon likes to put beautiful women on the TV screen. This is called professional wrestling. This is wrestling. Real fans call it wrestling. And we want to see people that can actually wrestle. Now, Nikki Bella improved her wrestling. When she had a run with the title, when they got her to beat AJ Lee's record, she was actually learning how to wrestle, and I was impressed by it. But her sister, Brie Bella, the drunk, she sucks. She's almost killed people in the ring. He was going to take the championships off of Bayley and Sasha Banks to give it to the Iconics and then give it to the Bella Twins. Why? So they could be on that show with the belts? This man is about money. He's not about the quality of the product. So, speaking of people that can't wrestle, Alexa Bliss. And I know some of you young men and some of you creepy older men like Alexa Bliss because she looks like a high school teenager. But looks aside, she cannot wrestle. Her offense is weak, and she need to give half of her salary to her tag team partner, Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, who in NXT, no woman wanted to wrestle because she was crazy and she would do anything to win. And now they got her on acting so they're gonna stupid. Alexa. And got her following Alexa Bliss around. Nikki Cross did most of the work in this match. I can count on my fingers the moves that Alexa Bliss did today. She prevented Nikki Cross from being pinned by doing her weak moonsault. And stood on the apron most of the time while Nikki wrestled. When Nikki did give her the hot tag, she ain't last but 10 seconds before she was getting beat up again. I'm talking about Alexa Bliss. She's in there with 2 Japanese wrestlers and Asuka and Kairi Sane. They can go. And they carried her. And finally she made the hot tag to Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross came in. And eventually the better tag team got the better of Nikki Cross. And they had her set up for the finish. Alexa Bliss did a moonsault. That same weak moonsault. She did it twice. She didn't do the weak DDT today. That's her other move. She got slapped in the face. She got a forearm. The DDT. That move where she do the knees. She do the knees that don't even touch you. And then come back and do the knees. It looks acrobatic, but it don't do anything. And she got that moonsault. That's it. That's her arsenal. I like to see an arm drag out of her. Maybe a hip toss. Maybe a body slam. Can we see something out of this woman besides a slap to the face? So, they took the championships off of the 2 Japanese women who can really wrestle and put them on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I gotta ask Vince McMahon, are you drunk? Why do you think we want to see Alexa Bliss? What you should have done was take Mandy Rose. Since you want a blonde, you want a pretty blonde to be your champions. Why don't you take Mandy Rose? She definitely can wrestle better than Alexa Bliss. Much better. And she's better to look at. Because she looks like a woman, not a little girl. Why don't you push her? But because you got her in a tag team with a lesbian wrestler, and why she wrestles with that rainbow rag in her back pocket, I don't know. But how are you supposed to become the dream of these young men so they can buy your posters and your t-shirts when you just advertise them that you will never ever, they'll never have a chance with you? See, Alexa Bliss got a fan following because there are a lot of guys that would like to mess with her. But when you know from the get-go you got no chance, why even bother? But they should have took Mandy Rose and put her with somebody. She should have been with the Riot Girl. She should have been in the Riot Squad. Because Sarah Logan is awful. She can't wrestle. And she's a plain Jane. And she wears those silly Viking costumes. No. So it doesn't make her attractive to look at because she's not really attractive anyway. She's, plain Jane. But if she could wrestle, you can forget that. And enjoy the wrestling. She can't wrestle. Why didn't they put Riri Riot and Mandy Rose together? That would have been a great tag team. And then you would have a good tag team to feud with Asuka and Kairi Sane. But her partner now, that lesbian who used to be an MMA fighter, she had a couple fights. She come out there, and then get in the ring, can't do nothing. Seriously. Gets in the ring and can't do nothing. Why don't she get in there and do a choke or something? Do a leg ball or something, an arm trap or something. Some ground and pound. Do something. And then she's talking about she want to be a movie star. Who gonna watch it? What man gonna spend his hard-earned money to go see a woman who's not really that attractive, but he ain't got a shot with? Even in his wet dreams, he ain't got a shot. So why is he gonna spend money to go see you in a movie? But good luck, because you sure can't wrestle. If you're not gonna spend your time trying to learn how to wrestle, at least spend your time trying to be a movie star, because you can't wrestle. And when y'all hear me say can't wrestle, I mean can't wrestle. Not go in there and throw a couple punches, not go in there and choke somebody, but go in there and time in a knot. This is wrestling. Okay? You don't want to go to a boxing match and see somebody. Now, it might be fun for a little Sugar Ray Leonard to do a little shuffle, Ali to do a little shuffle. Who won't pay $50 to see Mike Tyson get in there and ballet dance? I'm being honest with you. Who's going to spend good money to go watch somebody ballet dance? Nobody. You want to see a fight. This is simulated fighting. Not simulated entertainment. Simulated fighting for our entertainment. Why do I like professional wrestling over boxing, over the UFC? Because unlike those other sports, you might not see a knockout. If you watch a boxing match and don't see a knockout, I'm disappointed. If I watch the UFC and there's not a finish, somebody's not knocked the hell out, ground and pounded out, I'm disappointed. I'm like, next match, please. I want to see somebody get in there and get with it. Okay? That's what I want to see. Now, y'all might be different, but like I said, I've been watching this since 81, 82. Since I was 11, 12 years old, I've been watching professional wrestling. I like to see action. I like to see somebody that can get in there and get with it. Now, I do agree that somebody just doing moves is boring, but somebody that can't do anything is even more boring. But y'all put up with it. So, we have new lady tag team champions, and they haven't defended the belt, I think, since November. November or December was the last time they had a defense. I know it was a ladder match. So it might have been tables and chairs. They had a ladder match. And they kept the titles. And they haven't done nothing. Asuka has been wrestling Becky Lynch. Why do you have a tag team champion not defending her belt, but wrestling your world champion? Do you know why? Because you brought Ronda Rousey in, and don't get me wrong, because I wish they'd bring her back. But let me tell you, they fed Ronda Rousey, all the women, they fed them all to her. And the women that can wrestle, like Moon and some others, they won't push them. But they want you to watch Natalya. And don't get me wrong, I love Natalya. She's such a cutie. But let me tell you, when she wrestled, man, I get up and walk away. I don't watch her wrestle. She don't have no intensity, no passion, and she's boring. I'm sorry, she's boring. Good, wholesome woman, only been with one man in her life. And I say it again, if her husband died, whatever his name is, the one that got injured, I'd be the first to marry her. But I won't watch her wrestle. But she's blonde. Now, if she would take off them bodysuits and put on some wrestling tights, that might be a little more intriguing. But as she is now, I wouldn't pay no money to watch her wrestle. What happened to Mickie James? She stopped wrestling. At least she could wrestle. She was old, but she could wrestle. She stopped wrestling. Who else is there? Liv Morgan just came back. Can she wrestle? Yeah, I don't know. Because she ain't in the match long enough to do anything. All she do is lose. The only person she beat was Lana. And Lana can't wrestle. Lana is a model. She's not a wrestler. That's the only person that she beat since she came back. She beat Lana. Woo! Wow. They need to fix their ladies division. NXT has so many great wrestlers. The young wrestlers, I'd rather watch them on Raw. I'd rather watch the Chinese girl, Xia Li. She's still learning. She got some nice kicks, though. I'd rather watch Aaliyah than watch the women on Monday Night Raw. And y'all know Aaliyah sucks. Tegan Knox. Won't they bring her up? Candace. They will not let Candace win the championship. You know Candace, Johnny Gargano's wife. Beautiful. She technically is sound. She's a great wrestler. They won't push her because she's that baby face. They won't push her. Rhea Ripley, yeah. She's just a overgrown 23-year-old. And that powerbomb is whack. She don't put no oomph into it. This is what I mean when I say when you a real wrestling fan. When you powerbomb somebody, you supposed to whoosh, not no put them down. When you suplex somebody, you supposed to pick them up and then you supposed to drive yourself into that canvas. Not no, I'm going to hit the ground first and then let you hit the ground. See, I'm a real wrestling fan. You can't get over on me with that stuff. I'm dead serious. Yeah, I'm a real wrestling fan. I don't care about a pretty move. I care about an effective move. Does it look realistic? Can I believe this as I'm watching this? Later on, I'm going to have a good example of that. Because somebody got hit in the head with a pair of stairs. And got right back up. Is that realistic? No, it's not. So, let's keep going. Like I said, Alexa Bliss, and let me say it, Bliss. Alexa Bliss and Nikki lost. She didn't lose today. They won the tag team champions. Who are they going to defend them against? They have no tag team set up. Who are they going to defend them against? I'm asking you. Who are they going to defend them against? They have nobody because they left Ronda Rousey and they left Becky Lynch with nobody. So she had to feud with the Southern girl. Oh my God, that girl's terrible. The girl green is I don't know what. Why did they bring her up from NXT? She was down there to learn how to wrestle. They put her in a program against Becky Lynch and she lost. So now she's done. Now she might win the SmackDown championship tomorrow. We don't know. I hope not, because she can't wrestle. A woman's right. You expect us to believe she can punch somebody and not knock them out, but then at the right moment. It was hard enough with Ron Garvin, but at least Ron Garvin was a scrapper. That man would get in there. He had intensity. He tried to punch a hole in you. You could believe that. You could believe he could knock you out. That man could make you believe it. I don't see that with her. I don't see that with Lacey Evans. She looked at me like she might trip, fall, and break a neck. Just taking a step. I'm supposed to believe she can hit somebody with one punch and they knocked out. Come on, man. And this is another problem I have. How come some people hit their finishers and the person knocked out for 3 or 4 minutes? And they can hit the same finisher the next week and the person roll out the ring. Explain, somebody. Keep it realistic. That's all I'm asking. I need to believe. I know you got to pretend like when you watch a movie, you know good and well Sylvester Stallone ain't beating all these people up, you know. You watch these karate movies and, sit there and watch the Karate Man beat up 50 people. You know that they could just jump on him and just hold him down and then beat him up. But you make yourself believe. Those kind of movies get kids hurt because they think they can go out there and do that stuff. And they go out there and find out real quick. I know I found out real quick when I went to chop somebody in their chest. They didn't go down. They hit me back. I said, what the hell you want to go down? I went to clothesline somebody. They didn't go down. I said, oh, snap. Maybe my stepfather is right. Maybe this is fake. I gave somebody a belly to belly and they got back up. I said, what? That was Magnum TA's finisher back in WCW. That was a finishing move. You ain't supposed to get up from that. I gave somebody a belly to belly. They got right back up. I said, whoa. And it was on, well, they had a jacket on, but it was on a gym floor, a floor made out of wood. They got back up. I said, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. How did they get back up? But see, I had a finisher. I would take your head and I would put it in a headlock. Then I would lock it and I would actually take your face and I would put it against my stomach. And I would smother you and you would have to give up. And nobody never got out of it. One person got out of it only because it was a crowd around us. And his people kept kicking me in the back. And I had to get up and chase him. That's the only person that ever got out of that move. Nobody ever got out of that move. I've broken people's ribs just with the bad hug. But I digress. You know, like I said, I didn't just watch wrestling. I was young. I thought it was real. We went out there. We used to make our belts out of cardboard. We used to get the books that had pictures of the flags in them. And we'd get some cardboard and make it into belts. And then we would take the pictures and we would glue them on. And we used to have our championships. I used to walk around with my championship. I was so proud. And one day, the female bully, so you couldn't hit her, she came and tore the belt in half. And I started to hit her and I said, you can't hit no girl. I started challenging. I said, you tore my belt in half, you must want to wrestle. But I went and I made another one, and the next day I was right back out there with a better one. And she came down and she looked at me, I looked at her, and she was like, yeah, and walked off. She said, because what's the purpose? He gonna make another one. And he might actually try to wrestle me. I'm like, get out of here. But you know, that just reminds you of something in the hood where people believe if you mess with certain people, that they might hurt you. Oh, for those of y'all that don't know, this is the World Heavyweight Championship. That's on my forehead. I always wear it. And if you notice, above my head, you see me in full battle gear. Told you we did everything on it. We did everything on our channels. I was the roast. I retired as the roast champion. That's what that championship belt is. It's custom made. So if you're wondering why there's a belt on my head, there's a reason for it. I was the roast champion of YouTube. Not proud of it, but hey, I got a lot more views when I was doing that. Now, let's get to the next match. Well, hold on, before we go, I gotta say it again. Who are Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss going to wrestle? Every woman on the roster is weak. You really only have 6 wrestlers that are championship level. Okay? You got Asuka, Kairi Sane, you got Bayley, you got Sasha Banks, Becky, who I'm sick of, and Charlotte, who I'm really sick of. I am so sick of Charlotte. God darn, I'm sick of that woman. I am sick of her. I hope that she wins because I could care less about Rhea Ripley. I really could, but at least that would get Charlotte off of Monday Night Raw. Now, WWE made a mistake. We'll get to that later. But they really messed up. They really messed up. We'll get to it. Let's get to the next match, y'all. Because I'm not even going to talk about this tag team, man. It wasn't even worth it. All right, we got, oh, Lord, Elias and King Corbin. I don't know about y'all. Ain't you sick of King Corbin? Ain't you sick of him? Be honest. Aren't you sick of King Corbin? I ain't seen him do the End of Days in I don't know how long. The End of Days is a great move. But once again, you know, he don't have the charisma of a Randy Orton. Now, I will say that the King costume looked better than looking like somebody that parked their car at TGF Fridays. I will say that. They don't park their car at TGF Friday, but if they did, that's what he looked like. He looked like somebody that parked your car when you go to the restaurant. Somebody tell me I'm lying. He looks like somebody that will park your car when you go to the restaurant. Baron Corbin, I'm sick of you. Please go away. Now, supposedly he threw Elias. 2 weeks ago, supposedly he threw Elias off of landing 2 Fridays ago. He threw him off a landing, and Elias is back wrestling. Now, they didn't show him land. I believe that they had one of them stuntman bags down there. He landed on that, and then they showed him lying down. They won't show his actual fall, I don't believe. But he fell from at least 15 feet. That man was in there wrestling. He came out and hit him with the guitar right off the bat. Now, once again, in my day, the honky tonk man hit you with the guitar, you stayed down. He hit Baron Corbin with the guitar, and Baron Corbin ran at him while he was coming down the ramp. So he added extra pressure to it by running to him. That makes it more impactful. Yet, a couple minutes later, Baron Corbin was beating up Elias. But Elias won. Oh man. Baron Corbin tried to pin him by putting one foot on the rope. The female referee caught it. And he was complaining to the female referee by her not counting to 3. And Elias rolled him up, and Elias grabbed his drawers, or grabbed his tights. We used to call it, oh, look at him grabbing his drawers. Well, grabbing the tights. He grabbed his wrestling tights for extra leverage and held him down for the 1, 2, 3. So once again, King Corbin loses. You lost at the Royal Rumble, and you lost at WrestleMania. Should have just stayed off the card. You suck, man. We tired of you. The match was competitive, but we kept waiting to see the effects from Elias. And he no-sold it. Somebody throw you off of a 15-foot landing, and you come in there a week and a half later like nothing happened to you. I don't get it. But okay, that's why it's called entertainment. All right, the next match was, so far, I'm not happy. First off, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross winning the female tag team championships. I was so excited when they came out, but I was saying to myself, who's going to wrestle? But you had the Riot Squad at the time. You know, you had Nia Jax and Tamina as a tag team. They both sucked, but at least they were big. And you can believe that they could lay on them girls and get the pin. They were so big. It was believable. Okay? And then, like I said, you had Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose, and the other girl, the lesbian. You had them as a tag team. You had Dana Brooke was trying to tag up. Dana Brooke, the lady who keep getting fat from sitting in catering. They have catering backstage at these events, and I believe a lot of these wrestlers sit there in catering. There are a lot of wrestlers you don't see on TV. Why they're not using them, I have no idea. What is wrong with the writers that they can't write things for them to do? Everybody got to be silly or simple. And it makes it hard for you to take them seriously. It really does. And we're going to get to that. So Becky Lynch pulls up in a semi-truck, the one that say the man on it. How that make you cool, I don't know. And why does a woman want to be called the man? It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I know that the feminism has ruined marriage. It's ruined everything. And some of the women can get mad at me. Well, come debate me. See how fast I chop you up. Come debate me. Chat's open. You want the phone number, you can call in, let me know. Because I chop you up. You won't win that argument. But, like I said, they had nobody for Becky Lynch to wrestle. We ain't already seen her in Charlotte like 6 times. I don't want to see that no more. Who else for her to wrestle? She beat Natalya. Everybody beat Natalya. Ruby Riott just came back. Nobody gonna take her seriously. Liv Morgan, they made her like a fool. Who's she gonna wrestle? Lana? So they brought up, and they had this plan. They brought up Shayna Baszler from NXT. 2-time NXT champion, dominant champion. And they bring her up. And they let her go in the she had the gauntlet in the cage match. She beat 5 women on the roster. She beat it was a 6-woman match. They were locked in pods. And every 3 or 4 minutes, somebody was let out. Until everybody was out, whoever get the pin win. Do you know Shayna Baszler beat everybody, including Asuka? And they sacrificed all them women. All the women she beat, you will not take seriously now. In a championship match, you will not take seriously. So they brought up somebody from NXT that was doing great to bring to the main roster. She's a training partner of Ronda Rousey. You know Becky Lynch pinned Ronda Rousey at last year's WrestleMania. Becky Lynch should have lost today. Why they didn't do it? Because you make Shayna Baszler look weak. You made her look like a killer. Had her come in there and bite Becky Lynch's neck, fake blood coming out of her mouth, looking like a savage. And yet, you have her lose to Becky Lynch. She should have beaten Becky Lynch. Ronda Rousey should have came back. Her and Ronda Rousey should have got her win back from Becky Lynch. Then they should have had the 3rd match. And whoever won that 3rd match should have fought Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam. This is how they should have done it. But now, you've taken somebody who was a serious cage fighter like Ronda Rousey that had legitimacy. She's had 2 years of strong showings. And you fed her and buried her to Becky Lynch. Not to mention you buried every other woman on the roster. Just for her to come lose to Becky Lynch. Now some of y'all are going to say, well, she had her in the clutch and, she leaned back and pinned her. Doesn't matter. It make her look weak. So you spent all that time building her up. So now, tomorrow on Raw, you're going to hear Shayna say, well, she didn't pin me. She got lucky. Are you going to take her seriously? You had your chance at WrestleMania. And you didn't get knocked out. You sat there. All you had to do was let go of the hold. That's all you had to do. You want to be champion, let go of the hold. Instead, you keep your shoulders on the mat and get pinned. Who gonna take you seriously? So they ruined that woman. They could have made a star out of her. She could have been Ronda Rousey too. But the problem is, who's she gonna wrestle? Because if she had one, because Becky Lynch was talking about she want to take some time off. After she feud with Becky, there's nobody for her to fight. They're gonna have to bring up somebody else from NXT. If you get to the point where you have to keep bringing wrestlers from your B brand, obviously you're not handling the ones you have. So this was the only match I was looking forward to. I wanted to see Shayna Baszler become the champion. So this WrestleMania was ruined for me. After that, I didn't care anymore. But I wanted to do this review. This is my first one. You never get a first one. And I literally didn't care after that. Because the next match, oh Lord. The next match was Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. You know the best part about Sami Zayn, when he used to dance out, when he came out, he didn't do it. So, seriously, that's the best part of Sami Zayn, seeing him when he come out and dance. He didn't do it. He didn't do it Friday when he came out on SmackDown. He didn't do it. So I really had no interest in this match. This was nothing but interference. But I will say, Daniel Bryan finally got his hands on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn been hiding behind Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura all year. Running his mouth and then hiding behind them. He got his butt kicked today. But they helped him win. So Sami Zayn is still your Intercontinental Champion. The same 3-on-1. So pretty much, Daniel Bryan needs another person. He has a friend, a cruiserweight. Cesaro was one of the strongest men on the brand. And Shinsuke Nakamura is a fighter. He's a strong style fighter. So it's 3 against 1, and you're only it's 3 against 2, and your only help is a cruiserweight. You barely 200 pounds, and Gulak is not 200 pounds. And yet we've seen Cesaro lift the Big Show. So doesn't look good. So Daniel Bryan needs a third person. He needs somebody to take care of Cesaro. So Sami Zayn retains the championship, the Intercontinental Championship. But it was good to see Daniel Bryan put some mitts on him. And I will say that. Daniel Bryan put something on him. He lost, but he put something on him. Daniel Bryan had to go outside and help Drew Gulak out with Cesaro and Shinsuke. And Sammy tried to sneak him, but Daniel hit him, knocked him back in the ring, went up to the top rope. I don't know what he was trying to do. That drop kick he did, he came up the top rope right into a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Up the distraction. So then it got worse. Tag Team Championship. But The Miz got the CV. Tag team means 2. So how you going to have a tag team title match? One of the champions is missing. Well, I'll tell you how. You make it a single triple threat ladder match. Yes, it was a single ladder match. So John Morrison, the other half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, went against Kofi Kingston. Why they didn't send Big E, I don't know. But Kofi Kingston. I think Big E needed a WrestleMania moment. But they sent Kofi Kingston. And they sent out one of the Usos. Jimmy Uso. It's Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy came out. This match, I got up and went and started cooking. Because I'm sick of seeing the Usos in the New Day fight. And John Morrison suck. So, you know, I kept going in there and checking on my chicken. But, same old. Things with the ladder. Ain't nothing worth commenting on. But the finish. This was the worst finish. You had Kofi and Morrison up on one ladder. And they both had their hands on the belts. And they were trying to take them down. And they were hitting each other. So Jimmy Uso brought a second ladder. Put it next to it. Now, if I'm there, why wouldn't they push that ladder off? You already got 2 guys. They both got one hand on the belt. Because they're hanging up there. The person that bring them down win. And they're hitting each other. You see somebody put a ladder next to you. Why you wouldn't push the ladder or kick it away? I'm just asking. They let him come up there, and so now they all three hitting each other. So Kofi and Jimmy Uso start hitting John Morrison. And John Morrison is not hitting back. He's holding on to the titles. So finally, they knock him off the ladder because he's not hitting them back. He's holding on to the championships. And what happened? The championships, the straps let go. He falls to the mat. And guess what fall with him? The tag team championships. So, Miz and Morrison, even though Miz is out with the CV, they retain the tag team champion. I don't care because I don't want to see the Usos or the New Day. I'm sick of it. They're like 7 and 6 time tag team champion, man. Let somebody else have it. Heavy Machinery should have been going for the championship. I'm tired of seeing the same people. Seriously. We're tired of seeing the same people. So Miz and Morrison retain, even though Miz wasn't there, they retain the tag team championship. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. This was a great match. Let me tell you, this was a great match. Kevin Owens put something on Seth Rollins. And even though I'm sick of Seth Rollins, I'm sick of him. And him talking about he the Messiah and making fun of Jesus, I'm sick of him. But that was a great match. I'm sick of him, but that was a great match. And Kevin Owens beat him so bad that he hit Kevin Owens with the ring bell and got disqualified. He told the referee to disqualify me. And he was trying to get out of there, and Owens, like he was calling him on Monday Night Raw last week after he got stomped, he called him back to the ring. And Seth Rollins came back and beat the crap out of Owens. And Owens made a comeback. When he hit Owens in the head with the side of the stairs. And yet, how do you come back from that? Somebody literally pick up the stairs, run at you, and hit you in the head full steam. And you still get back up. We're supposed to believe that. But anyway, Seth was going to put him through the announce table. Owens recovered. Put down Seth on the announce table. Then he went and climbed up on the WrestleMania sign and did an elbow off the sign down through the table. And if you watch it closely, you watch the replay, you can see Kevin Owens' fat butt broke the table. His fat behind broke the table. Not the elbow he threw. His fat behind broke the table. How do you know? Because Seth Rollins' body came up off the table. If you putting somebody through the table, they would go through the table. They wouldn't bounce up. Your fat butt hit the table, and you actually knocked him up off the table. But anyway, he drugged Seth back in the ring, gave him the Stone Cold Steve Austin stunner, and got the pin. Nice to see Kevin Owens get a WrestleMania moment. Nice to see him get a win. So he actually won twice. He won by disqualification. Then he made it a no DQ match. So that was a pretty good match, I got to say. So far, that was the best match. Sorry, I fell asleep. I fell asleep during the Uso match. That's why I'm late coming on here. I fell asleep during the Uso match. So, from there we go to, got my notes here. Braun Strowman versus Bill Goldberg. Bathroom break. But you can't take one because this is for the championship. This is for the championship that's on my head. It's called the Universal title now. Goldberg came out and delivered 3 spears in a row and didn't get the pin. Now he pinned the Fiend with 3 spears and got the pin. He didn't get the pin here. Then Braun Strowman got up. No sold him. Goldberg tried to jackhammer a 300 and I don't know if he 350 or 380, whatever Braun Strowman is. Goldberg went for the jackhammer. Strowman picked him up, gave him a power slam. Picked him up again. Now these were short power slams, meaning he just picked him up, went straight down. Did it again for 3 times. Then the 4th time he picked him up, went in a circle, and then power slammed him. 1, 2, 3. Knee one. Let me tell you something. This match ain't even go but 2 minutes, but let me tell you something. You want to talk about nobody doing no moves? Goldberg did a kick to the stomach. He did 3 spears. That's all he did. Braun Strowman did 4 power slams. There you go. Talk about a quick payday. Goldberg is 53 years old. That man should not be in the daggone wrestling ring. He old. I ought to call him Oldberg. Oldberg. He look winded. You notice he ain't come out there. He ain't do none of his stuff. He was saving his energy because he knew he was going to have to go 2 minutes instead of 30 seconds. And they hurry up. They ain't do the long announcements. They announced it real quick and got right to it. Because he old. You got to hurry up and get it in when you're dealing with that old man. You got to get it in. Quick. Now, you figure the championship match will be the last match. No. The last match was AJ Styles versus the Undertaker or Mark Calloway. For those of y'all who don't remember, go look up Mark Calloway. He used to be in WCW, and he used to be in a tag team called the Twin Towers. And I believe that Paul Heyman, he was called Paul Lee Dangerously then. I believe he was their manager, if I'm correct. They were called the Twin Towers. Now, I like Mark Heyman. He used to do the Claw. But then he came to the WWE and became the Undertaker. And I can tell you, the early Undertaker, I didn't like him. He used to come in there and he used to have them big gloves on, you know, them big thick rubber ones that they wear at the mortuary. And he used to just choke everybody. That's all he did was choke. I didn't care for him in the beginning. But then, you know, when he, you know, changed what you call him, and he started doing other moves, you know. He started doing snake eyes and climbing the top rope, you know, for that drop down on your arm when he started, you know, doing the punches. He started wrestling. The Undertaker used to be able to, he could wrestle. And then I started appreciating him. Go back and look at some of his early matches. He had a lot of moves. He wasn't just somebody coming in, forearm, choke, body slam, and then give you a move, and then, you know, choke slam or something like see. The Undertaker had moves. You know, he had the last ride. The Undertaker was fun to watch. This match was like a movie. They did it in the graveyard. It was called a boneyard match. The Undertaker came out and he put something on AJ. He put something on him. You want to talk about my wife, huh? You call me an old man? I gotta say, the Undertaker talking to AJ made it fun. But AJ was the heel in this match, and he really showed it. He took some dirt, and I mean he mashed it in the Undertaker's face. And he mounted his comeback after getting beat up. And he was actually thrown into, say he's gonna bury him alive. He had a grave made out. And he put AJ in it. And you think the match was over. But then the rest of the OC came out, Gallows and Anderson, and the Undertaker was getting ready to beat them up. And they said, and they opened up this building, but it had like a garage door, and they had all these people dressed as I guess as demons or whatever. They came out. It was like 8 of them. The Undertaker beat them all up, and then he beat up Anderson and Gallows. AJ got out the grave and hit him from behind with a cinder block. I mean, and it broke on him too, like poosh. So then AJ beat him up, and AJ put him in the grave. AJ went to get into they had a bulldozer, and they already had it full of dirt. All you gotta do is put the person in there, drive the bulldozer up, and just, because it was right there. Drive it up a couple feet and just turn it on and have it dump the dirt on you. So AJ was getting ready to dump the dirt, and he could feel something behind him. The Undertaker had got from the grave and was standing behind him. And so the Undertaker started beating him up. Then Gallows and Anderson came out again, and he beat them up again. He had a tombstone on one of them. The other one, he choke slammed because AJ was running. And he had climbed up his ladder and was on top of the building. The same building I told you that those men came out of. And the Undertaker followed him up there, and Anderson was waiting on him. He threw one of them off the building, chokeslam one off the building, and the other one, he tombstoned on the roof. And so he went and he beat AJ up, and he threw AJ off the roof. Then he came down and started beating AJ up again. AJ was like, I'm sorry, Undertaker. I'm sorry, please don't burn me. Well, that was hilarious. Please don't burn me. He crying like a little baby. Undertaker said, you gave me a good fight, and gave him a hug. I'm not going to do nothing to you. Let him think it was all good. Undertaker walked like two steps, stopped, turned back around, and he front kicked him right back into the grave. Then he got the tractor, and he dumped the dirt on AJ. And there was a tombstone right there, and he wiped off the tombstone, and it had AJ's birth date on there, and it had April the 5th, April the 5th, 2020. What was the day was the 5th, right? April the 4th, 2020 on it. So it was okay. I mean, it was more like a movie fight. And then, it was a couple times the Undertaker, threw some lightning at him, and but it was okay. It was a pretty good match. As far as WrestleMania goes, it's up, but we appreciate it because they didn't have to give us a WrestleMania. They could have just closed down. So I appreciate them giving us a WrestleMania. I appreciate the matches. And we got part 2 tomorrow. We'll barely keep our championship. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. And we'll be on earlier. Like I said, I fell asleep. Matter of fact, I still got a Sunday sermon to do today. So hopefully I can take a nap and get up at 1 o'clock and do the Sunday sermon. And then try and take another nap and come back and do my show at 5. And then get off, go watch the wrestling back, and then bring y'all another review. Like I said, this is the first show. Really don't expect nobody to be here, especially this time of day. Like I said, I fell asleep. I know it's late. Y'all done went to sleep. But I hope that y'all took the time to watch this. Like I said, you talking to somebody that's been watching wrestling since 1981. Some of these guys you watch been watching wrestling, 15 years. I've been watching it since 1981. You know, that's a long time. And I'm telling you, if I had to choose between the wrestling of today, let me tell you, I'd rather go back to the 80s if I could. The 80s, that was the best wrestling. I know some of y'all favorite wrestlers might be a Stone Cold Steve Austin, might be The Rock, might be AJ Styles. My favorite wrestler of all time was actually The Rock's father. That was my favorite wrestler. His name was Rocky Johnson. He was known as The Rock. He had the best drop kick of any professional wrestler. If you think I'm lying, go watch some of his videos. His name was Rocky Johnson. Go watch those videos. I believe his name is Dwayne Johnson. I think Rocky's a junior. Not sure. But his name was Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Go watch his drop kick. By him being a black man at that time, he wasn't able, because it was a different time. He wasn't able to get the success that, but he was good. He was really good, and he had the best drop kick, I'm telling you. He literally would jump up and hit you 1 foot, 2 feet, right in your face. He would come down and do a handstand and spring back up to his feet and wait for you to get up and do a shuffle. When you got up again, pam, pam, both feet, pam, pam, in your face. And he would once again spring back up and he'd do that shuffle. And then when you were getting up from that second one, he would do a sunset flip and get the pin. That was his finishing move. And like I said, he used to vie for the Intercontinental Championship, but they never let him beat Don Morocco. They never let Jimmy Snuka win the championship either. So, they wasn't going to let the Samoan win. They sure were going to let the black man win. Let's keep it honest. But him and Mr. U.S.A. Tony Atlas, they were the first black ever WWF Tag Team Champions, or WWE, WWF, whatever. They were the first Tag Team Champions. So, and one more thing before I go. WWE, are you going to give us a WWF black champion? An African American one? Kofi Kingston was close, but he's from Ghana. Now, he was brought up in the United States. I think he came over at the age of 9. But can we get an American-born African-American champion? Can you build us up one? Now some would say, well, what about The Rock? Well, The Rock was the champion, but The Rock also is half Samoan. His father married the daughter of the High Chief Peter Mavian. That's why the Rock is related to the Usos, Nia Jax, the Wild. They're all the same family. But he's half Samoan and half African American. Some of y'all are going to say Mark Henry. Mark Henry won this version. This was the old WCW World Heavyweight Championship. When WWE put them out of business and bought the company, they just renamed it the World Heavyweight Championship and they put it on Friday Night SmackDown and split the brands. So they haven't let anybody African American wear that WWF championship, which is called the WWE title, the one that Brock Lesnar got right now. The other championship, the one that Braun Strowman won today, that's this belt. It's just called the Universal. So they went from calling it the World Championship to the Universal Championship. Before it was called the WCW World Title. So, like I said, when Ted Turner bought the WCW, he changed the name of it. And the NWA backed out. The board backed out. And people will say, well, that's not, when they left, that wasn't the NWA championship anymore. But where it was defended didn't change. But when the NWA pulled out and they took that little rinky-dink belt, because they weren't using it anyway, and took it over Japan, and Japan got 2 or 3 versions of it. And then they brought it back over here, and Dan Severn had it for a minute, then it went away. Then somebody else came and brought it back. And it's been coming back and forth, but it's been mostly defended in Japan. Now you can see NWA Power on YouTube every Tuesday at 6:05. I wonder if I should start covering that. Because I enjoy it. It reminds me of the old days, you know, with the studio and the studio audience in there. The promos are really good, and the wrestling is, it's okay. But the promos, and you really get into the lives of the wrestlers. And that's what I like about it. But that championship, the lineage of it goes back so far. But to be a world title, it's got to be defended around the world. For those of y'all who used to get the wrestling books like I did, The Wrestler and Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Inside Wrestling, they wouldn't give the WWE, the WWF championship wasn't considered a world champion. The AWA championship was considered a world championship, and so was the NWA. That's because they went to Japan, they went to Canada, you know what I'm saying? So Mexico, it was defended around the world. That's what makes it a world title. When NWA sat in Japan for like 10 years, it just sat there. And then when it came back to the States and just sat in the States, it just sat there. It's not a world championship. It must be defended around the world. Now, when the WWF started, because see, the difference is WCW kept all the promoters and all the territories. So even though the NWA took that belt back, or was given that belt back, they wasn't booking those same places. But this championship was being defended there. And it was being defended in Japan. It was being defended in Canada. It was being defended in Mexico. That's what makes it a world championship. So the NWA took the name, but they didn't take the power. All the power left their belt. And when the WWF started buying up and started making deals with the promoters and starting to shut WCW out of arenas and saying, well, we come here, you can't let them come in. Then they started picking up these areas. And they started going all over the place. And then they started going to Japan. And they started going to Europe. And they started going to Canada. And then the wrestling books had to acknowledge them as a world championship. But then when they bought WCW, they didn't divide the 2 world titles. They just called it the SmackDown Championship and they called it the WWF Championship. But see, the WWF never cared because Vince McMahon Sr., the father, the guy who owns it now, he used to be on the board of the NWA. And he started his own federation in 1966, I think. The WWF. Then they shortened it to WWF. And like I told you, the wrestling books wouldn't give them the world title status. And WWF said, screw you. So even when they did, only recently do you hear wrestlers like, you'll hear the New Day say, yo, world heavyweight tag team champions. They just called the WWF title WWF tag team titles. Only recently have you heard them say world. They didn't care. It's a world in their name. World Wrestling Federation. It's a world in the name. So they didn't care. They were like, screw the wrestling books. We're going to take over all this. And they're going to be coming to kiss our butt. And I tell you, for all you people that say you love Ric Flair, as somebody that grew up with him, I got sick of him. But then when he left WCW and came to WWF, I kind of missed him. I hate to admit it. But I got sick of Ric Flair. He did the same thing over and over again. Got sick of Ric Flair. Some of y'all love, I got sick of him. Woo! I got sick of him. And they used to say that Ric Flair was a better world champion than Hulk Hogan was. How you figure that? If you actually was to get the stats and look at the win-loss records, Hogan won 90% of his matches. Ric Flair got disqualified in 50% of them. If he didn't get disqualified, the Four Horsemen came down there and got him disqualified. So you're going to tell me that because Flair would wrestle 4 or 5 times a week and Hogan wrestled 3 times a week, that because Flair wrestled more in the week, that he was the better world champion, but when he wrestled, he didn't win? How did that make you a better world champion? If I know that I can cheat, of course I wrestle more to get the money. If I know I can cheat. I'm just saying, if I know I can cheat, why wouldn't I? I'm just asking y'all, how did it make you better? Well, I don't have to win. All I got to do is get disqualified and I get to keep my belt. While the other guy is beating everybody put in front of him, you getting disqualified and having your Four Horsemen friends come bail you out. You know? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Alrighty, y'all. This has been the first edition of Brotha Derrick's Wrestle Talk, where we talk about wrestling. And if you would like to debate me or like to talk anything, like I said, this is the first edition. I know I'm on at a weird time. I mean, who's up at this time in the morning on daggone Sunday? I've been letting this animation play I put together. Let me stop it. Is there anybody even here? It's 3 people here. How come nobody not saying nothing? Don't nobody have any comments or questions? Nobody have any comments or questions? All right, everybody. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, so I'll go ahead and stop this. Like I said, I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be on earlier, but I'll be here tomorrow, and we'll do the second part of WrestleMania. Like I said, I'm grateful that they had it. They could have put more into it. Some of the decisions were just stupid. Some of the matches didn't even have to be on here. Baron Corbin, we sick of him. Why they don't build the women up, I have no reason why they keep feeding them to Becky Lynch. And they feed them. They just feed them. Becky Lynch, Ronda, Charlotte. They just feed everybody to them. You know, the women on SmackDown being fed to Bayley. I just don't understand it. I don't know why he not building up people for these champions to defend their belts against. Hey, letting everybody get squashed. I'm looking forward to I just want to see who gonna win the SmackDown Championship. I like to see Sasha Banks win. We'll talk about that tomorrow. The Fiend and John Cena, who cares? They had nerve to show that first match, and it sucked. So I know this match gonna be even worse. The Fiend probably gonna eat like four attitude adjustments and get right back up. I just don't. I can't get into it. Hopefully Charlotte Flair beat Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is okay, but I don't see what everybody else see in her. So maybe she'll show me tomorrow. Maybe she'll show me, and I can get on her bandwagon. But right now, she just looks like a overgrown little girl, you know, fighting an experienced woman. That's what it looked like to me. And Charlotte, I'm sick of you, and I hope you win and go to NXT. But then they're gonna feed you all the young talent they got down there, and they got some good wrestlers down there. And it's a shame if Charlotte win, they're gonna feed Charlotte these wrestlers because they're competing with AEW on Wednesday, and they're gonna feed the good talent the same way that they fed everybody the Ronda Rousey. They just threw everybody under the bus against Becky. Becky didn't have nobody to wrestle. So you got the biggest company in North America, and they don't have a female roster. But yet, you don't see Moon Wrestling. Who else do they have that's good on the roster? Naomi. Naomi needed to improve her moveset. I mean, she got some nice athletic moves, and I would rather see her the champion rather than a Dana Brooke or what's her name? Carmella, another blonde. She need to work on her wrestling moves. You know, get a good move set. They made Dana Brooke look so sorry. You can't do nothing with her. You just can't do nothing. Ain't nobody gonna take her seriously. Nobody gonna take Natty seriously. They already fed the Southern Belle to Becky Lynch. Lacey Evans, whatever her name is, she sucks. I sure hope she don't win the championship. She win the championship, man. I don't even know. I don't even know. Now, they might let her win it, and they might let Sasha win it, and then Bayley might turn on Sasha. That might happen. I don't know. I don't know what they got in their mind, but I hope that tonight's wrestling is better than the one we just reviewed. Because it's 2 parts. So I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be on earlier. And I really hope that some people come over here and discuss it. But I don't have no problem being the only person talking. I always got something to talk about, especially when it comes to professional wrestling. I've been watching it so long, you know. But alrighty, y'all. Y'all have a great Sunday. For those of y'all that would like to show up, Minister Brotha Derrick, we'll be having our Sunday sermon, and it's going to be a barn burner today. I'm not sure what. I hope I wake up before 1, but if not, I'll be on. I'll definitely be on today. If y'all want to look me up and bookmark the channel, Minister Brotha Derrick. All you gotta do is just type in Brotha Derrick, Brotha. Let me type it in the chat. If y'all would like to come join me, we got a barn burner today. I found some articles that show the real mark of the beast, and we're going to look at it because I might have to change it from Sunday sermon to Saturday sermon. That's how serious this could be. But it's called the Minister Brotha Derrick Show. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as I say, I will see y'all soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Peace. And we are out.